Alright, in this video I am going to show you guys the start of our Illustrator logo assignment. If you look down to the left hand side, you can see my drawing of a thumbnail, which is basically a small representation of how my logo is going to look. When you guys do thumbnails in real life, usually it's a rough draft, so it's not our final piece, but it's getting our ideas to the paper. We are going to have 3 mountains in the left hand side, the 3 peaks with a pizza or a piece of pizza in between peaks and pizza with one horizontal line going across. Now to start the video, I'm going to start by coming in and selecting with my selection tool and just hitting the delete key. This gives me all my space and my outboard opened up. Reminder that the alt key and the scroll wheel allow us to zoom in and zoom out of the space that we want to be in. Wherever you have your scroll wheel when you zoom in will put you in that spot. To start it out, it looks like I have 3 triangles. So just kind of going with shape identification, I'm making 3 triangles. That's the shape of my mountains. So coming over here, I go to the Polygon Tool. And one of the things I'm going to do right away is change my colors to default black and white. Later on, if we want to color our pieces, we can easily color them by changing our fill and our stroke color. For right now, we're going to keep them black and white. Now, coming in, I'm going to click and drag to make a polygon. And from there, I'm going to come in and move my slider to the right to make a triangle. If I click, I can also make it a triangle by changing it to 3 sides, and then it asks you what the radius is, so the farthest out points from there. So if I wanted a 1 centimeter radius, I could do that right there. I'm going to hit cancel there, just showing you another way to make a triangle. Now, from here, I'm going to use just in my shape tool still, if I go over my piece, I can go over the corner, and I can rotate this so it ends up being 240 is what it said there, but it ends up being flat on my bottom side. Now, what I'm going to do is, since I have 3 of these, I'm going to make a duplicate, and I can hold the Alt key down and click. If you notice, I'm still in my shape tool. You can do this in the selection tool also, but I want to have 3 of these, and they're relatively in the same spot. So it's moving one straight over, and then clicking and dragging. I have the Alt key held down again for one in the middle. Now, one of the things we're going to do right now is I'm just going to go to my selection tool, and I'm going to make sure these are put in the right order. So if you notice, in my logo, the middle one's actually behind the front too. So if I take a right click here, I can go to range, and I can go send to back, or send backward if you want to go 1 step. I want it to go all the way to the back, and there we go. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, and I'm going to make my pizza pieces. So starting with the big shapes, I have my rectangle, clicking and dragging to make my rectangle, and I also have another triangle. I could take one of these triangles, or I could use the Polygon tool to make another triangle. This triangle is going to end up being a little bit bigger. Slide it to the right, rotating my piece around, and then coming in and moving my piece with my selection tool so it's centered, and then I'm also going to switch it down so it is lining up with my sides. If you notice, those little pink lines come in to show me that my alignment is correct. Clicking off to the side, deselect to see what I have here. Now, one of the things I can do with my selection tool is I can rotate 2 things at the same time. If I come in and I right click this, I can group it. So whenever I select one, it selects the other also. If I want to get in to work on just one, I can double click into it, and it will take me into a thing called isolation mode, where now I'm only working on this shape. I'm going to back out, and then I'm going to select, and I'm going to rotate. There's one more thing that I have right now in my pizza or piece here that I want to add, and that is my horizontal line going across. Instead of using a line tool, I'm going to make a rectangle, and I'm going to click on the outside of my artboard and bring my rectangle across. When I save this later on, just to deselect to show what's going to happen here, I'm going to right click on my background here and send it to back also. But one of the things I'm going to do later on is I'm going to do a file save, and I'm going to make sure I trim on the artboard. So the only line that I end up seeing is actually this horizontal line going across. Now, just to show you what I have so far, this is where I'm going to stop the video, and I'm going to show everyone how to use the Shape Builder tool. Thank you for watching.